Welcome and thanks for joining me on day 5 of our journey. We're now looking into our third step in the spiritual journey as we seek to quarantine with Christ to ultimately become cozy with Christ. And in our fifth day, we're embracing or re engaging our righteousness. We are called to embrace our righteousness. Getting back to our scripture, Psalm 18, looking at verses 16 to 19, we can see literally that God is on the move already to deliver us. And I like the use of words in that passage. You can even pick out, if you look carefully, that you delivered from a tight spot because you moved to a place with more space. And you also were saved from a situation where you were very much far in over our heads because there's little words of us being moved from deep waters. And all this talks about is that God is moving on our behalf. But if we look closer now, it says the enemy confronted us and God still saved us. He delights in us. I wanted to touch on that a bit. He delights in us. And that delight at that time doesn't seem to have any conditions attached to it. He just delights in us. And why would God delight in us? And that deals with our identity, or deals with that we have to appreciate that we have righteousness. Now, of course, when you talk about righteousness, persons become a little apprehensive. We think, are we burdened on pride now? But this is just part of identity. Once you connect with Christ, you have a righteousness about you. And because of that righteousness, God acts on your behalf. And want you just to hold on to that righteousness. Even though you're confronted, you are blameless. And therefore, God acts on your behalf. God so wants you that even though we are not yet perfect, He sees us still as righteous. And He moves on our behalf. He moves on our behalf and delivers from whatever situation that is around us. And this is what we are to connect with today. Even though we are confronted by the enemy, that God still takes delight in us. And He delights in us because we are made in His image. That's why He delights in us. That's the good He sees in us. Because there isn't much good to see in humanity per se. But because we're created in His image and likeness, God sees that. And that is one way to demonstrate our righteousness, our God likeness. And that is what moves God to still look for us, to still care for us, to keep His arms open to embrace us, even though we might have turned our backs momentarily. So I want you to connect with your righteousness. Much love. Stay blessed. Take care.